You ever fix a car just by holding the gas pedal down or pulling a random fuse under the dash? Sounds like a hack, right? But I've done this on dozens of customer cars. No scanner, no parts, no BS, and it fixed everything from rough idles to blinking dash. I had one guy ready to drop $800 on a new transmission. All it needed was a 15-second reset. Yeah, that kind of reset. And here's the wild part. 43% of drivers actually ignore dashboard warning lights. And 96% can't even tell you what those lights mean. That's nearly half the people on the road driving around with problems they don't understand and often paying a mechanic for a fix they could have done for free. Most of it just bad data stuck in the system. Truth is, your car's brain gets confused all the time. It stores bad data, glitches out, and throws codes that have nothing to do with actual damage. But if you know which reset to use and when, you can clear the chaos and get your car running smooth without even picking up a wrench. So, before you let a mechanic upsell you on something you probably don't need, let's bust a few myths and dive into 7 reset tricks that mechanics don't want you to know about because they work, they're free, and it can fix 90% of car problems for free. Stick around, hit that subscribe button, and I'll show you how to reset your ride like a pro. No tools, no drama, just results. So yeah, these reset tricks aren't just clever, they're legit. I've used them in real repairs and they've saved folks serious cash. But the crazy part, most drivers still believe a bunch of outdated garage myths that keep them stuck, or worse, paying for stuff they don't even need. Let's clear that up first. You ever hear these? Myth number 1, if the check engine light's on, something's definitely broken. Not always. Sometimes your car is just confused, like a phone with 18 apps running in the background. Myth number 2, you need a mechanic and a fancy scanner to reset car problems. Nope. You can fix a ton of issues with 0 tools in just a few minutes. Myth number 3, disconnecting the battery is old school and doesn't work anymore. Wrong again. I've reset dozens of cars that way, especially older ones, and seen immediate results. Myth number 4, that warning light means it's going to cost you hundreds. Nah. A lot of those lights are triggered by bad data, not bad parts. Myth number 5, once a sensor is replaced, the problem's gone. Not unless you reset the system. If you don't, your car is still using the old broken logic. So before you throw parts at the problem or panic at every light, let's go over 7 reset tricks that could save you hundreds, maybe even thousands. Reset trick number 1, ABS traction light reset. You ever fix a car just by driving it over 10 mph? Sounds like a joke, but I've seen it work more times than I can count. Some ABS and traction control lights are self-resetting if the fault was temporary or the sensor's been replaced or reconnected. I had this guy come in after getting new tires, freaking out because his dash lit up like a Christmas tree. Stability light, traction light, ABS light, all blinking. He thought the system was fried. I checked it out. Turned out one of the wheel speed sensors was half unplugged during the tire install. We clicked it back in. Took it for a spin around the block. Boom. Light gone. No scan tool. No fancy reset. Just needed to drive a few blocks to let the system recheck itself. But that's not the only trick. A lot of cars also have a traction control button, usually labeled TCS, track, or ASP. If that system was turned off accidentally or intentionally, it might just need a simple press and hold for 3 to 5 seconds to reactivate it. I've had customers swear something was broken, but all it needed was that one button hold. Now don't get me wrong, if the light stays on or comes back, yeah, you'll need to check for codes or inspect those sensors. But don't panic right away. Try the easy stuff first. Check tire pressure, sensor plugs, go for a short drive. You might have already solved it and didn't even know. Reset trick number 2, MAF sensor relearn reset. Ever clean or replace your mass airflow sensor and the car suddenly runs worse? Yeah, that's not uncommon. Your ECU is still working off old airflow values, which throws off your fuel economy, idle, and even makes your acceleration feel sluggish. I had a guy replace his mass air sensor thinking it had fixed the rough idle, but he skipped the reset. Result? Engine stalling and more problems than he started with. Here's the trick. Disconnect the battery for 10 to 15 minutes, then reconnect it. After that, start the engine and let it idle for 5 to 10 minutes with no throttle input. That simple reset gives the ECU time to relearn how to handle clean airflow data. Always do this after cleaning or replacing the sensor. It's one of those small steps that makes a huge difference in performance and prevents bad fuel trims from sticking around. Reset trick number 3, fuse box reset targeted fix. Ever wanted to reset just one messed up system without messing with your whole car's brain? That's where the fuse box trick shines. It's like flipping a breaker for one room in your house instead of cutting the power to the whole block. I had this Nissan in the shop last month after a transmission flush still jerky between gears. Instead of tearing into the transmission, I pulled the TCM fuse under the hood, waited a few minutes, then popped it back in. Boom. Smoother shifting right away. It's one of those fixes that feels like cheating, but it's just being precise. You've got fuses for everything from ECU, BCM, steering, to infotainment. Want to fix a glitchy display or weird behavior without a full reset? Just locate the targeted circuit, disconnect, and reinsert after a wait. This isolated reset gives you control over which modules you're rebooting, especially useful if your dash is lit up like a Christmas tree, but only one thing's acting up. Ever tried pulling a specific fuse to fix something electrical? You'd be surprised how often a simple box fix beats hours of diagnostics. Real quick, if you're into no-fluff car fixes that actually work, hit subscribe. No upsells, no BS, just smart resets anyone can do. Stick around, there's more coming. Reset trick number 4, battery disconnect reset, the classic. You'd be surprised how many folks roll into my shop complaining about rough, idle, weird throttle lag or strange behavior after replacing a sensor or swapping out a dead battery. 9 times out of 10, it's not a busted part, it's just the car's module storing bad data. I always say, think of your car like a moody laptop. Sometimes it needs a good old-fashioned reboot. First thing I do, turn off the ignition, remove the key, and disconnect the negative terminal. Then I press the pedal to drain the leftover juice from the system. That step-by-step alone has solved issues that would have cost folks a few $100 at a dealership. A few weeks back, this guy brought in his Corolla after a battery change. The idle was all over the place and he thought he'd fried the ECM. Nope, just hadn't done the idle relearn. Once I had him wait a few minutes, reconnect the power, and go through the adaptive learning cycle, the car was running like it just rolled off the lot. Bonus, his clock settings were gone. But hey, that's a small price for a freshly calibrated ECM. Ever done this reset before and felt the difference instantly? Drop your story. I bet more people have pulled the classic reset than they realize. Reset trick number 5, sunroof calibration reset. Had a customer swear his sunroof was haunted, wouldn't fully open, wouldn't close right, and the tilt function kept going halfway and stopping. Sound familiar? Happens all the time after a dead battery or electrical glitch. The fix? Simple. Just hold the tilt or close button for 10 to 20 seconds, and the system will recalibrate the motor and remember the correct position. It's basically telling the car, hey, this is where fully open and fully closed should be. If your glass won't slide right or it feels stuck, it's probably just a lost alignment in the track or motor memory. A quick press and hold resets the whole thing. No tools, no disassembly, just one button and a little patience. Ever had your sunroof acted up for no reason? Try this reset before assuming something's broken. Reset trick number 6, OBD2 scanner clear budget DIY fix. If you've ever panicked at a check engine light, let me tell you, a cheap OBD2 scanner is worth its weight in gold. I've got a $20 one I snagged off Amazon, and it's solved more problems than I can count. One customer came and convinced their fuel injectors were toast. Turns out it was just a temporary misfire from some bad gas. I plugged into the port, hit scan, saw the code, and erased it. Light gone. Car smooth, $0 spent. Not every code means disaster. Sometimes it's just a false alarm. The best part, these tools also show live data, sensor output, fuel trims, and other hidden info that dealerships charge a premium to read. It's a total DIY fix that puts power back in your hands. You don't need a garage full of gear, just this little budget gadget. When I see weird idle random lights or mysterious performance drops, this is my go-to move. You ever scanned a weird code and realized it wasn't serious? Trust me, Having the ability to read, diagnose, and clear stored faults on your own changes, everything reset. Trick number 7, auto headlight sensor reset. You ever notice your auto headlights flicking on in broad daylight or not turning on at all at night? That's usually a confused sensor, not a wiring issue. I had a customer complain about possessed lights on his SUV. The fix. I covered the sensor on the dash for about 30 seconds, then exposed it again. Boom. Reset. It recalibrates the ambient light logic so the system knows what's actually dark or light again. This trick forces the sensor into dark mode. When you uncover it, it reevaluates the light level and may recalibrate its threshold. It's not a guaranteed fix for all models, but works well on many Toyota, Honda, Ford, and GM cars. This little photocell can go haywire after a battery change or even just weird weather. If your lighting behavior feels erratic or glare detection seems faulty, don't panic. Try this first. No tools, no menus, just your hand and a little patience. One simple reset can bring those headlights back to factory smart. Conclusion. So next time your dashboard lights up, your idle goes wonky, or your transmission starts acting possessed, don't panic and definitely don't throw money at it right away. Try a reset first. You'd be surprised how many issues are just your car's brain glitching out, not broken parts. From pulling a fuse to doing the pedal dance, these simple tricks can save you hundreds, sometimes thousands, and make your car drive like it's fresh off the lot. If you've ever fixed your car with just a battery pull or a $20 scanner, drop your story in the comments. I want to hear it. And if you learned something today, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and share this with someone staring at a glowing dashboard right now. So now you know, most car problems aren't disasters waiting to drain your wallet. They're just glitches your car's brain throws at you, and a simple reset can bring it back to life. No scanner, no parts, no drama. Here on Car Fix Free, that's exactly what we do. Bust the myths, show you the real fixes, and keep your money in your pocket instead of the shop's cash register. And in the next video, I'll reveal the 5 reset tricks that dealerships never tell you about. Because if you knew them, you'd walk away saving hundreds. So if you want more no BS car fixes that actually work, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell right now. This is Car Fix Free, where car myths die and your savings begin. I'll see you in the next one.